Power is often seen as the ultimate freedom. Yet, the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene suggests otherwise, revealing a contradiction. There are 3 hidden forces of compliance that silently bind us. Let's explore them, and by the end, you'll understand why true power might be a subtle tyranny.
Today, I want to walk you through 3 hidden forces of compliance from
The 48 Laws of Power
by Robert Greene that might just change the way you perceive power itself. We'll explore how these forces subtly bind us and why understanding them can lead to a profound personal awakening. Let's get into it. Quick note before we continue, if you want more of this, subscribe. I'll keep bringing it. Let's go. In the year 1796, a young Napoleon Bonaparte was rising through the ranks, not as the emperor we know from history, but as a somewhat obscure general in the French Revolutionary Army. His life was driven by an unyielding ambition. He believed, as many do, that power was the key to freedom and control over his destiny. In his mind, the world was a chessboard, and he was destined to be its master. He was astute, relentless, and perhaps a bit naive about the forces that truly governed his life and success. Napoleon took for granted the loyalty of his men, the support of the people, and the seeming stability of his position. To him, power was a straightforward path, a series of victories and accolades, and his belief in his own narrative was unshakable. He was the hero in his own story, blind to the hidden forces inching him into compliance with a larger, more insidious system. And here's what's curious. Despite his brilliance, Napoleon was unknowingly entangled in the first force, the need for validation. This is a force Greene describes implicitly through his laws, showing how leaders often become prisoners of their own image. Napoleon's victories were not just military triumphs. They became part of a narrative that required constant feeding and validation by others. His power, paradoxically, was something he needed to prove repeatedly, binding him to the expectations of his followers and adversaries alike. Sound familiar? We've all experienced this in some form. The relentless pursuit of approval, the silent tyranny of external validation. Napoleon's crisis came not from an external enemy, but from the realization that his power was conditional, dependent on a stage he couldn't control and an audience he couldn't always satisfy. Watch what happens next. In 1812, as Napoleon led his grand army into Russia, he was met not with glory, but with devastation. This was not just a military blunder. It was a moment of profound personal crisis. His reputation crumbled, and with it, the illusion of his unassailable power. For the first time, Napoleon faced the second hidden force, the pressure of expectation. Greene's laws highlight how ambition can be a double-edged sword, setting the standards impossibly high and forcing compliance with an unsustainable image. Napoleon's internal conflict was palpable. How could the man who was once hailed as the savior of France now be drowning in the aftermath of his own decisions? He almost conceded to despair, yet his mind was a battlefield of past triumphs and present failures. Here, the weight of expectation was crippling, a silent oppressor that dictated his every move, illustrating the paradox of power, how it can imprison just as easily as it liberates. And then, something unexpected happened. As Napoleon's empire continued to crumble, he experienced a shift, the third force of compliance, the inevitability of change. This force is perhaps the most subtle, yet it is at the core of Greene's work. Everything is in a state of flux, and true power lies in the ability to adapt. It is not the rigid, unyielding strength that defines a leader, but the capacity to evolve, to shift with the tides instead of resisting them. You've probably had a version of this moment, where everything you believed about control and power is upended by change. For Napoleon, it was a humbling transformation. The man who once saw himself as a god on earth was forced to reckon with his own humanity. This realization didn't just change what he did, but how he viewed the world and his place within it. Returning to our opening image, we see how the subtle tyranny of power manifests through these hidden forces: validation, expectation, and change. For Napoleon, These forces were not just obstacles, but lessons that reshaped his understanding of power. What seemed like ultimate freedom was, in fact, a complex dance of compliance with forces greater than himself. If you found this useful, you'll find the next one just as good. There's more. Subscribe and I'll keep bringing it to you. This narrative, rich with historical resonance, invites us to delve deeper into the labyrinth of power and its multifaceted nature. Consider the interplay of these forces in your own life. Do you see them? Do you feel their subtle push and pull? Beyond historical figures, these forces are universal, whispering their truths in the ears of anyone who dares to aspire. Think about it. As we navigate through the corridors of power, personal or professional, the allure of validation often becomes the first seductive force we encounter. Imagine a young artist whose initial creations are met with applause and admiration. This validation, intoxicating and affirming, begins to shape their identity. Yet, as the applause becomes an expectation, the artist may find themselves trapped in a cycle, creating not from the depths of inspiration, but from the need to uphold the image that others have cast over them. This is the paradox of validation. It nurtures yet confines, fosters growth yet stifles innovation. Pause for a moment. Consider the pressure of expectation, the second hidden force. For the ambitious entrepreneur launching their first startup, the initial success often brings a deluge of expectations, not only from investors and stakeholders, but from within themselves. The once exhilarating journey of innovation morphs into a relentless pursuit of success, where failure feels like a personal indictment. Here, expectation becomes a shadow, a constant companion that demands adherence to an ever-rising standard. The burden of expectation can lead to a form of paralysis, a fear of misstep that stifles creativity and authenticity. Reflect on this. The third force, the inevitability of change, is perhaps the most profound teacher. It whispers of impermanence, reminding us that nothing is static. For a seasoned executive at the helm of a once thriving company now facing technological disruption, the lesson of change is immediate and humbling. Adapt or become obsolete, a stark choice that demands transformation not only of strategy, but of mindset. This is where true leadership is tested, not in the rigidity of past successes, but in the fluidity of embracing the unknown, in the courage to pivot and redefine oneself in the face of shifting landscapes. Think about it. Napoleon's journey through these forces is a reflection of our own potential trials. His story is not just about power, but about the human condition, about how we confront the forces that shape our destinies. The lessons are not confined to the annals of history, but resonate across time, offering insights into our modern struggles and ambitions. Imagine an individual at a crossroads in their life, feeling the tug of these forces. Validation calls, expectation looms, and change is an ever-present reality. How they navigate these can define not only their success, but their peace of mind. The choice is in acknowledging these forces, understanding their influence, and ultimately learning to dance with them rather than be dominated by them. Pause again. In every narrative of power, there lies an undercurrent of compliance, not just to external forces, but to an internal alignment of values and understanding. As we return to Napoleon's story, we see not just a leader's rise and fall, but a human journey through the complexities of power, a testament to the delicate balance between control and surrender. Think about it. As you reflect on these insights, contemplate how they manifest in your own life. Are you pursuing a path dictated by external validation, or are you charting a course true to your inner compass? Do the expectations of others shape your decisions, or do you allow the inevitability of change to guide your evolution? These are the questions that define not only leaders of nations, but the quiet leaders within each of us, navigating the subtleties of everyday life.